Hello and welcome on this video. First of all, as always, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. I'm the developer of Absurdus, a simplistic Metroidvania platformer with a wide variety of zones where you have to explore and maybe take notes to find your way around. You can find its Cheo page in the description. Today we are going to talk about a theme that will be of interest to video game developers and curious: how to improve video game development. By the time you finish this video, you'll be aware of the reasons that cause a lot of beginners to fail. This is a popularization video. The pitfalls of copy and paste. You must not copy and paste code from game development tutorials. When you copy and paste code without really understanding how it works, you miss an opportunity to grasp the underlying principles. It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle without knowing what the piece represents. By following a tutorial, you won't enjoy it at the end, and if you ask again to do a similar puzzle, you won't be able to. As your project develops, you risk running into problems or having to modify the code. Without a solid understanding, debugging becomes a nightmare. What's more, tutorials may contain errors or omit explanations that are essential to the success of your project. By copying blindly, you run the risk of transposing these errors into your own work. But that's where the magic happens. For those who are really committed to game development, the adventure isn't just about copying. It's about designing unique projects and awakening your passion for innovation. By understanding the subtleties of your code, you give yourself the means to create from scratch. Not only does this help you stand out from the crowd, it also fuels your curiosity to learn and grow in the world of game development. Active learning. Now let's delve into the power of active learning. Imagine learning by doing, by engaging directly with code rather than just following predefined steps. Active learning is a dynamic process where you roll up your sleeves and engage in hands-on experimentation. This approach, where you actively make changes, test variations, and observe outcomes, significantly reinforces your understanding. Active learning turns you into an active participant in your own learning journey. Instead of being a passive consumer of information, you become a creator, an explorer, and a problem solver. As you tinker with the code, you uncover not only how it works, but also why it works. This depth of comprehension is invaluable when you encounter similar situations in the future, as you will have a strong foundation to draw upon. Now, let's talk about practical steps to enhance your skills by actively modifying and experimenting with tutorial projects. Instead of just replicating the code, here's why you can truly take your learning to the next level. Variable tweaks. Change variables within the code to observe different outcomes. Adjusting parameters like scale or difficulty can help you understand the cause and effect relationship in your game mechanics. User interface enhancement. Experiment with the user interface elements. Try redesigning buttons, layouts, or menus to improve the overall user experience and add your personal touch. Algorithm exploration. Explore different algorithms for tasks like path tagging or procedural generation. By experimenting with alternative methods, you'll gain insight into which approach works best for different situations. Additional features. Extend the functionality of your project. Add new features that weren't covered in the tutorial. This could involve creating new games mechanics, power-ups, or interactive elements. Code refactoring. Take the existing code and improve its structure. Refactor to make it more organized, efficient, and readable. This exercise not only deepens your understanding but also encourages good coding practices. Design pattern application. Implement different design patterns. This not only broadens your knowledge but also teaches you how to solve problems using industry-recognized practices. Artistic customization. Experiment with the visual and audio aspects. Replace assets with your own creation or use different effects to give the project a unique flavor. By engaging in these modifications and experiments, you actively apply what you have learned. This approach solidifies your understanding, boosts problem-solving skills, and helps you transition from a tutorial follower to a creative game developer. Remember, it's not about replicating, it's about using the knowledge you gain to create something entirely new. Creating original projects. You need to follow tutorials. It's an important stage in learning to develop video games that you shouldn't rush through or leave too early. However, at some point you also need to move on to the next stage, creating original projects. Following tutorials equips you with the foundational knowledge and practical skills needed to understand game development concepts. Tutorials provide a structured path to grasp coding, design, and implementation techniques. There's your stepping stones, and rushing past them would be like skipping the crucial basics of a complex puzzle. However, the real growth happens when you apply what you've learned to build something new. Creating original projects takes you from a passive learner to an active creator. It's the moment you step off the beaten path and forge your own trail. This transition is where your creativity flourishes and your ability to problem solve independently matures. When you're creating your own projects, you're no longer confined to a predefined set of instructions. You're making decisions, facing challenges, and finding solutions on your terms. This dynamic process helps you internalize concepts, spot connections between different aspects of development, and strengthen your critical thinking skills. The journey from following tutorials to building original projects is about striking a balance. Tutorials provide guidance and structure, while original projects encourage innovation and experimentation. This combination of learning methods is what will shape you into a well-rounded game developer. So while tutorials are the launching pad, don't forget to launch yourself into the world of original creation. The skills you've honed through the tutorials will empower you to bring your unique game ideas to life. Improve as a game developer. Encountering challenges during the development process is not only common but also essential part of the learning curve. The road to creating remarkable games is paved with hurdles, some of which might leave you scratching your head. The good news is that you're never on your own in this journey, and there's a myriad of ways to navigate through these hurdles. When you're faced with a problem that seems perplexing, you have several options at your disposal. One effective strategy is to look for tutorials that address the specific issue you're grappling with. These tutorials can offer step-by-step guidance, helping you break down complex problems into manageable tasks. By learning how to solve a particular problem, you're not only resolving the immediate issue, but also building a toolkit of skills that can apply in further projects. Another avenue for seeking assistance is by turning to developer forums. These online communities are bustling hubs of knowledge and collaboration. By posing a question, describing your dilemma, or seeking advice, you open the door to a treasure trove of expertise from seasoned developers. It's highly likely that someone has encountered a similar challenge and can provide insights or solutions that illuminate your path forward. Moreover, platforms like YouTube offer comment sections where you can pose questions directly to the content creators or fellow viewers. Sometimes, the answers you need are just in a comment away. By engaging with the community in this way, you're not only getting the help you need but also contributing to the ongoing discourse in the game development sphere. Remember, seeking help doesn't signal defeat, it's an acknowledgement that growth is a collaborative effort. No developer, no matter how experienced, is immune to facing difficulties. It's worth noting that if you needed my advice from the previous video and avoided aiming too high too soon, you've likely set a foundation that minimizes the risk of getting stuck. The pursuit of a mastery game development involves a willingness to learn from various sources and collaborate with fellow developers. Embrace the resources available to you, tutorials, forums, and the vast online community. These tools not only facilitate problem solving but also enrich your understanding of the broader landscape of game development. I hope you've enjoyed this video.